All thanks to Balfours, we are getting underway at Alberton Oval. Port Adelaide taking on the Crows. The Crows successful in the SANFL game that finished only about 15 minutes ago. Umpire bounces the ball in the ruck. O'Brien gets up first. And the Crows should come out of the middle with it. Doing well was Keys. He got first use of the footy. Goes back, gets it again. Off half-back. The Crows go well through Sloan. Sloan, the captain. Just been named, a couple of days ago for the third year in a row. Port Adelaide win the footy through Mackenzie across half-back. He's lost it in the tackle. Big opportunity, Frampton. He got a quick handball away. Port Adelaide through Marshall at half. In fact, Cleary at half-back. He lost the ball in the tackle as well. Kicked centred to the front of the goal square. No mark taken by Adelaide. Port Adelaide come in with numbers and should clear from half-back, and they do. Handball comes out wide, and Port Adelaide will steady. Well, it's a terrible clearing kick. I think it came from Ryan Burton, and it wasn't good at all.
So an opportunity here now for Adelaide to push forward into attack for the first time today.
So loose ball in front of the Crows' goal. There's been a whistle, and it's a mark taken by O'Brien. So Riley O'Brien, the chance to kick the first goal for Adelaide in this trial game at Alberton Oval. So what is he, about 25 metres out? Slight angle. One of the most improved players in the AFL, this fella. Had a very, very good season for Adelaide last year. On his way in now. The kick. And it looks pretty good. And he kicks truly. So the Crows strike first here at Alberton Oval. That'll make them feel good in the opening minute or two. Adelaide a one straight goal. Port Adelaide yet to score. All thanks to Balfours, Chris Dittmar and Will Goodings calling all the action.
Yeah, good morning to you, Dits. Magnificent day for football.
Started a bit early.
They did start slightly early. I just undertook a little bit of a jog that I wasn't expecting to do first thing in the morning. But here we are. Great watching the earlier game as well. Live stream over the course of the morning. Good signs for both the sides. But good to see, as I can hear myself now, a real bit of footy action this afternoon. All right, who we got? Riley O'Brien, Scott Lycett in the ruck. Ben Keys lining up in the middle. Willem Drew, great to see him back out there as well, Ditz. He's had a horror run.
Yeah, very good to see him get a go. Thought he was unlucky when he was left out of the Port Adelaide side throughout last year. So umpire bounces the ball. O'Brien and Lycett. Lycett got the better of this one. Port Adelaide through Boak. Running off half-back was Houston. Houston's handball didn't really go anywhere. Crows pounce on it. Keys on the end of a good handball from Sloan. And Frampton comes out, takes a good chest mark. So the Crows are off to a very good start here at Alberton Oval. And Frampton straight out in front. He'll be about just over 50 metres out as he has a shot for goal.
Got a bit to show today, Frampton, because suddenly he's in this three-headed monster battle for one of the key forward spots for the Crows. And earlier today it was Elliot Himmelberg and Riley Thilthorpe going head-to-head, and you got Riley Thilthorpe kicking 4 goals. So he's got a bit to prove. Big Bill was good last week. Couple of goals in the trial.
I was surprised that Himmelberg was left out of this side. I thought he had a very good season, certainly the back half of the season last year.
He's made no mistake there, Himmelberg. Solid start from the Crows like they made earlier today. They'll be happy with that. Billy Frampton kicks his first of the day.
So the Crows have started well. First 2 goals here at Alberton Oval, 2 straight 12. Port Adelaide yet to score. Yeah, I thought, as I said, Himmelberg finished the year very, very well. I don't know whether we read too much into it, but I would have thought with only this game and the next one in 8 days' time, they would be picking just about their best lineup because there aren't any other practice matches to go into the main season, into round 1. So let's see if Elliott works his way into the side next week. Port Adelaide similar, a couple of big names, late omissions. So the captain, Tom Jonas, out. Robbie Gray, apparently a slight hip problem. And, I'm a bit concerned about Connor Rosie as well, the foot problem, which he had to fly to Sydney for. So we'll keep our ears and eyes on those players. Bounce down again in the middle. Lycett gets another tap away. Boak was being held. Umpire said play on. Handball to the big ruckman in Lycett, who brings it out wide. Port Adelaide off half back now. Handball to Houston. Whistle would pay the advantage. Houston runs himself into a bit of bother, then gets the kick away, and Willem Drew marks at centre wing.
Willem Drew's got it now on centre wing. As we mentioned, last competitive game he played the Sandford Grand Final in 2019. So great to see him back out there. Ollie Wines coming off a cracking year. Just as assesses his option, a little bit of slow play for Port Adelaide. Little short lead from Motlop came, but he goes further afield. Butts will lead Dixon to the football, fists it away, comes to Sloan. He's clean. O'Brien fumbled where he didn't have an opportunity to do so. In goes Keys, Schonberg, and Keys will get it this time. just escaped the tackle momentarily. Ollie Wines escapes tackles for fun. He did it well there. Comes to Shoal, just throws on the boot. 3-on-1, Port Adelaide should win the football, and a terrific mark is taken by Houston.
Very good mark by Houston at half-back. Gee, Port haven't been past half-forward yet.
That's it.
Although they will now. The 50-metre penalty. And, gee, we'll be watching these all day, won't we? We're going to see how this has played out over the next couple of weeks.
There were a couple of shockers in the first game.
Yeah, a lot of controversy about this 50-metre penalty. So the first one of this game, only, 5 minutes in. So Houston now can send Port Adelaide deep into attack for the first time. Dixon in front. No mark taken. Ball hits the ground. Dixon in after it now. The ball out towards the boundary line. And they will throw it in. In fact, Connor Rosie's out there. Now, you should do your homework before a game. I thought he was still in Sydney getting his foot fixed. But anyway, he's out there playing, which is a great sign.
Great news.
There you go. That's the biggest comeback of all time.
If he did any damage, it was kicking 6 last week, clearly. His foot took a little while to recover.
Off hands, Wines now. Port Adelaide, a chance in front of goal. Handball, Todd Marshall to Dersma. Dersma throws it onto the boot.
Class.
And he is a class player. Port Adelaide get there first, so a steadier because it was all the Crows in the opening few minutes. And it's Port Adelaide 1 straight 6, Crows at 2 straight 12.
Yeah, we should reflect on that. There was a lot of uneasiness in Port ranks around the fitness and the status of Connor Rosie, plantar fascia, but this is obviously something that's been assessed, and the feeling is it's higher up in the ankle that there are some concerns, but I think everyone took a big sigh of relief late yesterday when the news came through that he'd be participating in the trial. You're not taking risks at this time of year, so if Connor Rosie's playing in this game, he's as good as gold. He's good to go for round 1. And look, what he did last week, I mean, he looked like he was playing a different sport. It was just extraordinary in the Port trial last week, and he started well again here. Interested to see the setups of the two sides. The centre bounce, Wayne Miller will attend the centre bounce this time with Ben Keys, O'Brien and Rory Laird. Scott Lycett, Ollie Wines, Willem Drew getting a bit of a run in the middle as well for Port Adelaide. We've called already a couple of times today. Can't be understated. What a beautiful day it is. What a magnificent... It feels like summer, but it's not too hot for football. Drew gets his hands to it this time. Rockcliffe got in second. Big booming kick inside forward 50, and out comes Farrell, who takes the mark. Port Adelaide. Now, this guy could go the journey from here. On his left, kicks up to a series of one-on-ones. Dixon won, the whistle's blown. It's going to be a free kick to Port Adelaide. It's going to come to Big Pistol Pete Laddams, I think. He's calling for it. Now, he was away from the contest.
He must have been shepherded out of the contest.
Yeah, he must have been.
Our eyes were on Dixon.
Yeah, it was Butts and Dixon. Bit of sloppy stuff in defence. It's young Fisher Mackesy who's lining up with Peter Laddams at the moment. He shouldn't have any trouble adding to Port's tally today. Lining up for his second, just 15 metres out directly in front. Left foot. No issue whatsoever. Right over the goal umpire's hat. A second to Port Adelaide. They've steadied. And there's a lot to like about Peter Laddams. I think this bloke has got #1 ruckman in the AFL written all over him.
Yeah, talked about the improvement of Riley O'Brien, this fella as well. The more
Absolutely.
he plays, the more you see him, the more you just get the feeling he's improving with every game, isn't he?
And he goes forward. He's got another string to his bow. It's tough to be just a ruckman that rucks these days.
Look, there's a couple of teams that have added to their forward line with tools, and I think if you've got that sort of height down there, it's going to be difficult. Look at Brisbane now. Danaher goes in there next to Hipwood. You've got Geelong now, Cameron down there with the tall timber Hawkins, and Port Adelaide similar. They've got Todd Marshall in the wings, around half forward, but you've got Laddams, you've got Dixon. If Lycett plays in the middle, it's going to test back lines, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you've
absolutely.
got that sort of height hovering around. O'Brien, again, probably did the better of the ruck work here, but Lycett did well to back up and apply the tackle. And another ball up in the middle. The two big men wrestle and go hard at it. Keys has had a bit of the footy early. Sends it forward. Oh, gee. Frampton did everything right except mark the footy. This is the first look at Alira. Lear did well. Gets it back in the 1-2. Then gets the little chip pass. Gave it a little bit too much, but Farrell read it beautifully. Port Adelaide running through half forward. This kick puts Orazio under all sorts of pressure, but Alira helps out. Dixon caught behind. Well played by the Crows defence again, and they should clear through Laird.
Yeah, they will. Laird, where he's most comfortable. Played a lot of his footy, though, of course, up around the ball last year. Runner-up in the Malcolm Blight medal. Gets it to Lynch, where he's expected to feature a little bit this year. Playing up higher on the wing. Darcy Fogarty with an early touch leading up at the football. Usually a terrific user. Kicks it up towards the former captain in Walker, who takes a strong mark. Really impressive last week in the Crows' internal trial. Swings around on his left. Picks out Frampton. That was how the Crows want to move the football from half-back to creating a goal-scoring opportunity right throughout the year. Oh, he's played on quickly, Frampton. What's he done here? Well, he's just kicked the goal. Not sure what the impetus was there, Ditch, to play on when you're 40 metres out in a slight angle, but he saw something he liked and he's kicked his second.
Look, he looked as though he wanted to give off initially and then thought, no, I'll go all the way. So terrific kick from Frampton, and well done Tex Walker. Beautiful turning onto the left. It was a bullet-like pass. He can do that, can't he? He can send them either foot over 50 metres low and hit teammates on the chest. So the Crows go out to 3 straight 18, Port Adelaide 2 straight 12. Crows kicked the first 2, then Port Adelaide hit back with 2. And now the Crows get their 3rd goal. And plenty of players asking for the water bottle. It's going to be warm out there playing.
Geez, we saw the earlier game was super entertaining, but it seemed to stop to a walk a little bit in that last quarter.
Yep.
Got hot. Trial game. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Crows running out victors early, withstanding a massive late charge from Port Adelaide. Came on very strong as the game dragged on. We're back in the middle here with the 6-point margin. Crows way. Frampton's kick 2. Looked good early, carrying on his form from last week. So we wait to resume. O'Brien and Lysett. O'Brien leaps high, paddles it in the direction of Sloane in front of Rockcliffe. Keys leads out towards the football. He won't get it. A little left foot kick came from Seedsman. It's going to be Boak who gets it, and Port should clear here. They've actually moved the ball well through traffic. Former first rounder and Bergman has it. Now Butters out in the wing. Just defensive side of centre wing. Usually a good user of the football. He's got the All-Australian Darcy Byrne-Jones ahead of him. Motlop with another long searching lead. He'll get used this time, Motlop. Looks for something ahead. Lysett's made space. Geez, he ran well there, Lysett. He's left O'Brien at his wake, and he's taken a mark just where the 50 meets the boundary line.
So Lysett now sends it out to the front of the goal square, almost to centre-half forward, and he hits Taylor Walker on the chest, who's played pretty well in this opening term, has done a couple of good things. And, gee, there's the boy from Woodville, West Torrens. Wow, was that a heavy tackle. Jones, bang. For the Crows, it was deemed to be an illegal tackle. So from half-back, Adelaide now through Murphy. Murphy, the little fella, sends it out to centre wing, and mark has been paid.
Looks like it.
In fact, Port Adelaide.
No, it's a free kick's been paid.
Was it a free kick?
Yeah, I think it's gone the other way to Mackenzie. Just goes the short option on this occasion. Hamish Hartlett moved the ball pretty well from these sorts of situations. It's just what you're confronting against the best teams and aren't going to let you just carve up and run end to end. Got to use the football well here. That time Hartlett will be disappointed. O'Brien, bested by Lysett a moment ago, gets the honours on that occasion. Takes a good strong defensive mark. The leading contested markers in the AFL last year. That was a real surprise coming into that season. Murphy tries to apply pressure to Hartlett this time. Unable to do so. The ball run out of bounds. Just in that left-hand half-forward flank for Port Adelaide, and we'll get the ball thrown in. Easy questions answered today, Ditz, in terms of what the Crows are expecting to see. It's a list in development. There are young blokes out that you want to see. I think those questions are harder to answer when you're a contending side. You want everyone fit and not getting injuries, obviously, but sometimes when you're a side that's contending for the premiership, it feels like downside playing in these trial games. I think that's a magnificent left foot kick that's just been tugged to the near side. One behind added to the power score, their first blemish of the day. 2-1-13, the Crows, 3 goals straight, 18, 5 points the difference.
So Carl Amon on the run always looks very, very stylish on that left foot, but just missed this time around. Yeah, Crows, I think for Crows fans, a lot of excitement to see the young players that they saw a bit of last year and the new ones coming in this year as well. Be good to see the likes of James Rowe, who is a real goal sneak, very clever around goal. We saw that in the SRNFL finals. Can he convert it into the AFL? Let's hope so. As the long kick comes out to half-back for Adelaide off hands, it's all Port Adelaide. Amon getting to the action. Houston looking good. Quick handball. Didn't find the target, but Motlop good enough to butter up and get the footy. Delivers inside 50, straight through the hands of Lysett. And now the chance for Adelaide across half-back. McPherson goes out wide. Didn't find his teammate out there, and the ball's taken out of play. And Port Adelaide managed to keep it inside 50. Port Adelaide 2-1-13, Crows 3 straight 18.
He's found space a couple of times, Lysett forward 50. Would have liked to do a little bit better on that occasion. McPherson, who established himself as a first choice defender for the Crows, clearing well, but couldn't find Chase Jones. The ball gets thrown back into play. O'Brien front position against Lysett. Good crumb came from Sloane. In fact, he clears it away now. Up towards the wing. Fogarty wrestling underneath it. Great crumbing. There's James Rowe that you mentioned. He needs an option ahead of him now. Had to delay the kick momentarily, allowed it to get smothered, and Port will gain possession of the football on the half-back line. It's going to be Motlop now. He's been really busy early in this trial game. He's got options of plenty ahead of him. Hamish Hartlett takes the mark. Oh, he tried to move the football on quickly. Not a great handball. Fogarty tries to beat 3 of them. Jones has won. Got rid of them and the football, but the umpire says illegally, and it'll be a free kick to Port Adelaide. Motlop to take it.
He's been very prominent, Motlop, doing well. Now kicks towards half-forward. That's a good mark. Connor Rosie, very strong. He's not a sort of player that you think of being a big body type, but gee, he was strong there, and he looks as though he has filled out a bit, I reckon. You can see it in his arms and his shoulders. So Connor Rosie, one of the smartest, cleverest footballers in the AFL. Let's hope he does get his body right, and there's no real issues with that foot. So we'll kick right on the 50-metre line, Connor Rosie. Real excitement machine, in fact, and he tugs this one left. Won't quite get there either. And a good mark. Big mark in the goal square, and it's Dersma up against big Riley O'Brien. He flew and took a cracker of a mark. He kicked Port Adelaide's first goal. A chance now to kick his second.
You talk about guys, Dits, that have put on a little bit of body weight. Xavier Dersma looks almost unrecognisable.
Yep.
It feels like in the space of one pre-season, and maybe it's filling out Brad Ebert's old number 7, but he looks like a different player entirely. I'm not sure he takes that mark 12 months ago.
Very good contested mark. He's gone back a long way. So very long, deliberate run in here. And he kicks and he nails it. Dersma gets his second goal, and Port Adelaide go to 4-1, leading, 3-1 they go to, 3-1-19, leading Adelaide 3 straight 18. 1 point the difference. Good opening term, good competitive footy here at Alberton Oval, all thanks to Balfours.
Absolutely. If you missed the earlier game today between Crows and Port, broadcast on both the Crows and Power websites, it was Adelaide 9-12-66 defeating Port 6-16-52. Some really pleasing sides on both sides. We mentioned Riley Thilthorpe kicking 4. Sam Berry looked good for the Crows. Tariq Newchurch showed some signs. But then for Port Adelaide, Burgoyne, Mead, the young fella Ollie Lord looks like he was born with an obscene amount of natural talent.
Yeah, very, very
He's really impressive. Like when he fills out a bit, that bloke's going to play a lot of football, I suspect. That was fun. But this is more like the real stuff now. Getting to see these sides against each other for the first time, and largely what we expect to be their first pick iteration for season 2021. O'Brien, it's Laddams now. Port rotating the ruck. O'Brien will ruck all day. Jumps right into to Laddams. Port Adelaide win the clearance though. No real issue there whatsoever. It's Hamill and Motlop battling. Good fist forward came to in the Motlop direction. Charging out is Rosie again. He's usually very clean in these sorts of situations. Paddled it towards Marshall. Wraps up Smith and we'll get a bounce. 45 metres from Port's goal. A couple of times last week, Connor Rosie in those sorts of scenarios just was able to dance through 3 or 4 people on the ground, in the air, wherever you're behind. He was just on fire. This bloke will kick a goal here. Carl Amon on his left, sets sail for home and just spools it to the near side. One thing you note watching Port Adelaide is you can call 6 guys in a row who all considered exceptional kicks, and it's not odd. They can negotiate slow play football and pressure. I think it's the skill set that sets them apart, frankly.
Yeah, they are a highly skilled side, Port Adelaide. Amon's one of them. He's missed 2 on the run though so far. He's had a couple of pings at him. McPherson goes long to the middle. The 2 ruckmen do battle. O'Brien at ground level, very good. Got the handball out, but it went straight to Hartlett. The umpires found a free kick though, and it will go to O'Brien, who's doing well. Oh, put his teammate right under the pump there. Thank you very much. It ends up with Laird. Laird now on the outer side gets a handball. They go backwards. Smith can usually kick it a long way from a standing start. This goes high and long, and another whistle. This one for shepherding out as well. We saw one at the other end of the ground, which resulted in a Laddams goal. And now this time, the Crows to get a free kick. And it's going to be Frampton, who kicked a goal from just about this spot 5 minutes ago.
He's been good, Frampton. He's presented well. Leading up at the football. The concern for Port fans will be familiar with this with Bill is when he's just content to sit back and wrestle all day long. And if he's leading up like that, he looks like a different player.
So on his way now, just inside the 50, in fact, right on it. The kick will get the distance, but he's pushed it out wide. It's a minor score. And Adelaide go to 3-1-19. Port Adelaide 3-2-20, all thanks to Balfours here at the Alberton Oval.
A couple of whistles early, Dits. I hope it's not going to be one of those sorts of days. Let him play. It's a trial match. Bring it back into play. Oh, Motlop the intended target. Sloan spoiled it away. Gets it to McAdam. Oh, he wanted to kick, faked himself out in the end. Jones goes in. Now it's Dersma. Oh, McAdam did really well, getting the ball to Schomburg with a quick handball, and Schomburg sets sail for home. He makes no mistake. Harry Schomburg quiet last week. Good to see him getting amongst it early. McAdam atones for a really bizarre little piece of action when he sort of half dummied the kick just a moment ago. So the Crows add to the scoreboard. They're 4-1-25, 5-point leaders over Port, 3-2-20. Took a screamer of a mark last week, did Steve?
Yeah,
Shane McAdam.
Certainly did. The man I work with, Mark Rasciuto, called it a Jezelenko mark.
A Jezelenko?
He said it was a Jezelenko. That's how good it was. Yeah.
Not given to Not given to boosting up the Crows players. He's as he did.
Not prone to exaggeration.
No, I wouldn't have thought that'd be really out of character.
Yeah. The good thing about this game early, we are seeing attacking footy, aren't we, from both sides. Very keen to get on with it. I mean, 4-3. Do you know, last year there were some games that was the final score at the end of the day. So we are seeing some good attacking footy from both sides, taking the game on, wanting to get it to their forward lines and score goals. It's a great sign. Not a great bounce, so Frampton into the ruck now, called on to give Riley O'Brien a rest. Hamble comes to Amon, who's had a bit of it in this opening term. Kicks inside 50. Charlie Dixon caught behind, worked his way to the front and takes a very good mark. 2 bites at it. One was behind, and then the second bite, he worked his way to the front and did very well.
Yeah, Butts looked like he had good position in front, but Dixon just reached over him and soft hands got it the second bite. Haven't got a sense of the breeze yet today, Ditz. I think it's pretty still out there.
So the kick on its way. Nice looking kick, but it's drifting across the goal mouth and through for the minor score. Port Adelaide go to 3-3-21, trail Adelaide 4-1-25.
Just had a sensational year last year. Did Charlie Dixon, led the AFL in contested marks. Moments like that, using his body, his touch. Once he got the body right, it was never a question about the talent. He just looked fantastic last year. You could say it about so many Port players, so many All-Australians running around out there today as well, rewarded for the minor premiership. Brodie Smith brings it back into play. Goes for distance up the middle. Seems to be a feature of their ball movement. Jones just took front position. They read it better than anyone, the young man. And Port will win it. Ollie Wines, kick inside 50. Marshall leads out, used his body well on Mackes. He just dropped what he might well have taken. Flying shot comes from Fantasia, front and centre. We'll see him there all season, and I suspect we'll see him finish a little bit better than that over the course of the year too.
Yeah, loves kicking goals. You get to see BT wrap his mouth around Orazio Fantasia.
Orazio Fantasia. Once we settled on the pronunciation, of course. Pick 29 he was traded for.
So the Crows to bring the ball back in. McPherson called to play on. Took it from Smith. Will probably go back that way as well and does. So Smith again launches from half back. Always good long running, long kicking player, Smith. We've seen it so many times, and Port Adelaide have turned this one over. So Murphy to get a free kick. Didn't see what it was for, but Ryan Burton infringed. Short passes, good. Crows working it along that grandstand wing. Long kick, and in fact this one goes into the bowling green. So not a good effort at all. Now, well, there's a bit of a story with that bowling green. Many, many people for 100 years have stood there for nothing. It was a way of getting in to watch Port Adelaide free of charge.
So the memberships of the bowling club.
So I'll go and have a game of bowls today. Oh, Port are playing. Oh, what do you know? Yeah.
There's a couple of people having a peek through the wire fence around the Alberton Oval today. I noticed as I came in. A lot of interest in this game.
Yep, for sure. So I think for both sides, you know, Port Adelaide, high expectations. The Mems are really hoping for something this year. And the Crows, I think there's genuine excitement. I had lunch yesterday with old Johnny Reid. And a lot of the Crows people like him are really keen to see how good these young players are. So there's different reasons to be excited for both sets of members, I think.
It's hard to pick a Crows side this year that doesn't feature half a dozen really exciting young talents. And while the wins might not always be there, there will be something to get excited about, or a bit excited about for Port with this young man, Butters, who didn't quite get a legal disposal, and he was pulled down by Lockie Scholl. Like him, you see upside in this Port side too. You get the opportunity to put Zach Butters and Connor Rosie and guys into the midfield for a bit longer. That's not a great kick from Lockie Scholl, usually a good user. Murphy cleaned it up, evades a couple, and eventually gets it to Smith where it was initially intended to go. Laird now to Jimmy Rowe. He's worked up the ground a bit to get a touch and uses his fellow forward and Taylor Walker well on that occasion. Last time Walker got the ball out in the wing, he used it magnificently, set up a goal-scoring opportunity for Frampton. This time asks a bit of O'Brien. Terrific mark taken by Kaluri,
50 metre.
And it's just the ball slapped out of his hand.
Yep.
That one everyone's on high alert at the moment. Anytime there's any sort of 50-metre penalty, that was a more conventional style 50. Huri sends it in towards Marshall. Takes a strong mark. Just read it better than everyone. And he'll line up to potentially put Port into their first lead of the day. Just read the flight of the ball better. It's actually a couple of times now Butts has been caught in front position and just found himself underneath the football, previously with Dixon, that time with Marshall, but that was a genuine contested mark. Really clean hands. And usually finishes pretty well. Another one with upside. You know, this is not a minor premier from yesteryear who's hoping that some of the older blokes fall away. There's still so much potential on this side. And Marshall on his right puts it straight through the middle. And Port have their first lead of the day. 4-3-27, 2-point leaders over the Crows, 4-1-25.
Port fans will be keen to see a lot more of that from Marshall. The things he does are very, very clever. It's almost special, to use a word. But some games, it's only sort of, you see it 2 or 3 times. I think Port people are hoping if we can see it a lot more, he's going to be a star of the competition. Very clever young player.
At the broken thumb last year, missed a heap of games with that. He just feels he's one of these guys that needs a little bit of luck. It's almost as though he does the difficult things really easily at this point in time. He just a bit of cheap footy, and but the talent is most certainly there. We've had 8 goals in the first quarter in perfect conditions at Alberton Oval. If there's a sign of things to come, we might get someone kicking a bag today, Ditz.
Could do. So the umpire just chatting to Travis Boak. He's had a bit of a quiet start in this opening term. He'll want to work his way into this game. Bounce down now, O'Brien and Lysette, who wins the tap. Brings it down for Rockcliffe, who always gets a ton of the footy. Gee, this handball puts Burton under the pump. He paddles it forward. Port Adelaide a chance. And doing it well. Bonner now kicks towards centre wing. Loose footy, didn't find the target. Laddams did well, big tackle. However, the Crows will come away with it. Mackesy left it behind. Rosie, good evasive skills. Then gets onto the right boot, sends it to a one-on-one. Now they all start coming from all directions. Butts did well. Well played, young fella. Over now to Keys. Crows run themselves into trouble. Farrell gets in the way and intercepts and through for the minor score. 4-4-28 Port Adelaide, and the Crows are 4-1-25.
Sinking feeling for Fisher Mackesy. Missed the football when he tried to make contact with the handball, and it ended up going straight to Connor Rosie. I can't imagine a bloke you'd less like that footer to end up with. Here's a bloke who's decent to have it at the moment. Burne-Jones kicks inside 50. Oh, Charlie Dixon claims his first body of the season. Boak with a handball. It was fumbled by Amon. Barnage paid, and it's behind. Maybe not the right option there. 30 metres out in a 45-degree angle would have been the scoring opportunity, but just the one behind to Port Adelaide. 4-5-29. 4-point leaders over the Crows now. 4-1-25.
So Crows through Brodie Smith, who'll use all his meterage here and bomb it long. Goes all the way out to centre wing. Taylor Walker the target. No mark taken this time, but he'll get a free kick. Cleary in over the shoulder. And Big Tex, he's had a pretty good opening term. So they all run for him. Leads all over the half-forward line. And he looks like he's going to go sideways. Didn't like what he saw up forward. Oh, this one floats and wobbles. That's not his best kick. Chance here for Port Adelaide across half forward. Picking it up, Dixon. Dixon sends it long to Laddams. Oh, that was a bit crude. Right into the back of his opponent. And the free kick was there for Mackesy. No worries about that. Laddams, I don't know if he really needed to do that. He had the height advantage.
Can sometimes look a little unwieldy when you're much bigger than your opponent. Just lean into them gently.
Yeah.
Tried to work Mackesy underneath it, and he won the free kick that time. Blair takes a good mark, made to earn it by Rosie. It's getting busy late in this quarter. Rory Laird starting in the midfield, as the expectation is will all this year as he did last. This time, McAdam's got a fly at the football. He really rose, but wasn't able to get hands to it. It's Schonberg that wins it and tries to handball it towards the advantage of Chase Jones. He kicks inside 50. It looks like Alear will get there first. Fumbled it, and Fogarty came onto him. Wrestles a bit. Gets it now to Seedsman. He tries to get his hands free in the tackle. Just flings a handball. Comes back to McAdam. On his right. Snaps towards goal. In the square. Lynch can't take the mark. Cleary has it. And he and Darcy Burne-Jones have seen enough of these dangerous situations to negotiate it fairly comfortably.
So out to half-back now. Rockcliffe gets involved. Short pass. Doesn't find Amon. It does in the end, though. Amon now is at a pretty good term. Gets it forward Butters. He goes backwards. That was a strange option. But finds a teammate. Port Adelaide from half-back. Burton got loose players in the middle. Houston now can turn and play on. Not much on offer. Goes very short, Butters. Butters waits for him to run past. Good play, Port Adelaide. Good attacking footy through the middle. Houston goes to half forward. Gets there on the bounce. Laddams does better this time. Out in front of Mackesy. Comes around onto his left. Short pass. Not great. Working hard for it now. Farrell coming in to help out again. Laddams picks it up. Checky on the run. Very ambitious. And it goes across the face of goal. 4-6-30 Port Adelaide. Adelaide 4-1-25. Good game of footy here, thanks to Balfours at the Alberton Oval.
There's 24 people here, Ditz, but I reckon that would have brought the house down if Adams had managed to kick that. Ambitious stuff. Look good, kept his feet well in the contest. That's what created the scoring opportunity. We're deep in this first quarter now, 29 minutes gone. So Brodie Smith sends it up in towards the square, towards his best contested marking target, and O'Brien. He won't get it. Laird led Burne-Jones to the football. Butters will be good. He's very clean there. Did really well to get it to Rockcliffe. Port escaped the danger for a moment. Burton, aim on. This is the kind of good use you talk about when you think of the Port Adelaide football side. Here comes Farrell. He's just super clean. One grab at the football. Opportunity to go inside 50 now for Laddams again. He's been heavily involved. O'Brien went in. McPherson's trying to corral. It's a 3-on-2. Port have got the numbers suddenly, and it means it comes to Motlop in all sorts of space. And on his right foot, he's kicked a goal. Late goal in the first quarter for Port Adelaide, who created an outnumbered situation deep in their own forward line and were rewarded. And they move now 5-6-36 to 4-1-25.
Just about best in this opening term, Motlop. He's had a ton of the footy and has been very creative as well. I'm interested in where Butters is playing because, and there it is, quarter time. Butters to me is really dangerous around goal and could be one of those little goal sneak type forward pockets. But I reckon he's spent the entire, that quarter up the ground. So he's either on the ball or he's in the middle somewhere. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what his role is. But Port Adelaide at quarter time, 5-6-36, lead Adelaide 4-1-25.